Warriors NRL Fanatics here, back today with a video, and this is going to be my NRL Round 3 tips for the 2022 season. And look, last week I managed to get 7 from 8 in my tips, which is a lot better than my 2 from 8 in round 1, so it's great to get not a bad round there. But it's going to be a great round of footy this weekend, a lot of cracking games, a lot of good matchups, some very tough games to call, and yeah, look, I'm looking forward to this week's footy coming up. So it all starts on Thursday the 24th of March. It sees the St George Illawarra Dragons versus the Cronulla Sharks, and this is at Wynn Stadium. Look, I gotta say, Dragons, very brave showing, courageous effort against the Penrith Panthers, the defending NRL premiers last week, only going down by 20 points to 16. Look, I know there's a lot of Dragons fans upset with the officiating in this game against Penrith, but if you look back, Dragons had many opportunities to win that game, and they just couldn't take it. But still, a very good effort from them despite going down to Penrith in that game. As for the Cronulla Sharks, coming off a very last-minute victory, beating the Parramatta Eels in a massive game, and it was a cracking game at PointsBet Stadium. It was an 18-16 result. Nico Hines kicking the match-winning conversion to give the Sharks their first win of the season. What I got to say, look, I didn't see the full game, to be completely honest, because I was coming back from the Titans-Warriors game, so I missed the first half. I only saw a little bit towards the end, and also I just catch the highlights. So what I saw was a good game between both these teams, and yeah, look, in this game, it is tough. It's a tough one to pick. Personally, I will be picking the Sharks, but the outs for both teams now. Look, Andrew McCulloch is out for the Dragons, and for the Sharks, Ronaldo Mulitalo and Tag Wilden is out suspended. So I'm going to go with the Sharks to win by 8. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Connor Tracy, Jesse Ramian and Blake Brayley. And for the Dragons, I'm going to go with Cody Ramsey and Tyrell Sloan. On to Friday, the 25th of March. And this is the second game on Friday. There will be a West Tigers and New Zealand Warriors game preview for round 3 on the channel separately. So if you want to see my predictions and my thoughts ahead of that game, you'll see that tomorrow on the channel as well. And also there'll be 2 special guests on that preview, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. Now in terms of this game, massive rivalry. We know how big of a rivalry this game is. South Sydney Rabbitohs, Sydney Roosters, both teams can't stand each other. They hate each other's guts. And both teams' fans, they will want to get the bragging rights in Sydney. Now, both these teams are coming off completely different results. The Sydney Roosters, they are coming off a bounce-back victory over the Manly Seagulls, 26 points to 12. And yeah, look, the Sydney Roosters, that was a much better performance from them after a poor showing against Newcastle in round 1. As for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they had a very, very average start against the Melbourne Storm in that game in the first half. Managed to come back in the second half and send the game to Golden Point, which for me, I still cannot believe that happened, because Melbourne were completely dominant and I thought Melbourne were going to run over and beat them 30-40 points. But to South Sydney Rabbitohs' credit, they managed to send it to Golden Point with a 2-point field goal by Latrell Mitchell, but they did go down in the end. Look, South Sydney Rabbitohs, they really will not want to be 0-3 to start the season. They're going to be very desperate to win this game. Sydney Roosters, they will want to get another victory and back up last week's win over the Manly Seagulls. Look, I found this game very difficult to call, but I'm going to go with the Sydney Roosters here. And I'm going to pick them to win by 6 points. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Joseph Manu, Alex Johnston and Daniel Tupou. On to Saturday, the 26th of March, the first game. There's 3 games on Saturday, so it's a triple header of footy, so how good is that? The Penrith Panthers versus the Newcastle Knights, the defending NRL premiers. These teams, both these sides, are coming off a 2-0 start to the season. So both sides are unbeaten to start the year. Bit surprised morely on Newcastle. I did not expect them to start the season off with a 2-0 start. Now, this game has been played at Carrington Park. Penrith have an outstanding record in Carrington Park. And look, you got to say, Penrith, in the first half against the Dragons, I thought they were very good. But in the second half, I feel like they got away with that result, actually. They didn't play too well in that second half. I thought they, clocked off a little bit, in my personal opinion. But, still, they got the result at the end of the day. But for the Newcastle Knights, well, look, got to say, not really much to say there in terms of Newcastle. Just way too dominant over the West Tigers, 26-4 result there up in Newcastle. So, look, ins for this game. Nathan Cleary has been named in the reserves, which is a huge in, actually. And I don't know whether he will be playing. I don't know whether he will be a late inclusion into the side in the starting side. But he is in the reserves for this one. Now, for the Panthers, the massive out is Brian To'o. He's set to miss the next couple of weeks due to injury. And Taylor May replaces him on the wing. As for the Newcastle Knights, the return of Kalen Ponga in the fullback role and Daniel Saifiti at prop, and Lachlan Fitzgibbons is out for the Knights. Now, in terms of this game, I'm going to go with a Panthers win by 12 points here. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Isaac Tago, Charlie Staines, Dominic Young and Dane Gagai, and Bradman Best for the Knights. On to the second game on Super Saturday. It sees the Melbourne Storm versus the Parramatta Eels at Amy Park in Melbourne. Saturday afternoon kickoff in Melbourne. So good to see Melbourne Storm get an afternoon game. The ins for the Eels, Wairumu Greg is on the bench. And Brandon Smith has been named in the reserves. Outs for Parramatta Eels, Jake Arthur. If you look at Melbourne Storm last week, completely dominant over the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the first half. Only 14-0 at half time, which, I thought Melbourne probably could have scored a lot more points. They got away with it in the second half. Ryan Papenhuyzen had a great game. I thought he was my man of the match in terms of the performance-wise and how he went. So, yeah, look, Parramatta Eels, I know they got a victory over the Melbourne Storm last year. It was their first win over them in a long, long time. They broke a bit of a run there against them. But it's in Melbourne, and I just think Craig Bellamy, will be pissed off with the performance in that second half. And he's going to have them fired up for a complete game. So I think Melbourne Storm will win this rather comfortably. And I'm going to pick them to win by 16 points over the Eels down in Melbourne. Difficult place to come up against the Melbourne Storm. Very hard team to beat at home. And I think they will get the result. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Ryan Papenhuyzen, Dean Eremiah, Xavier Coates, and Bailey Simonson. On to the last game on Saturday. It sees the Canberra Raiders versus the Gold Coast Titans at GIO Stadium in Canberra. The massive in for the Raiders in the halfback role is Brad Schneider. And also, Nick Kotrick and Jordan Rapana are back on the wing. Look, for the Titans last week, good victory over the Warriors. As for the Raiders, very disappointing up there at Cowboys home stadium there at... look, I gotta say, it's a difficult game to call, but the return of Brad Schneider in the halfback role and Nick Kotrick and Jordan Rapana on the wing are massive ins for me, and it's really swayed my tip towards the Canberra Raiders here. I was very close to tipping the Titans, but look, I think those ins are massive for the Raiders. So, yeah, I'll go with the Raiders to win by 4. Now, anytime try scorers in this one, I'm going to go with Brian Kelly and Philip Sami, Jordan Rapana, and why not throw in a roughie of Josh Papali'i to score and Jack Wyden. But for the Raiders, they're going to have to watch out for the Titans. If Titans get off to a good start, they probably could go on and get the victory up there in Canberra, because the Titans, they're a team capable of scoring lots of points, and yeah, the Raiders will need to watch out for that. But I've gone with the Raiders to win over the Titans. Now on to Sunday afternoon footy now, and it sees the Queensland Derby, the massive Queensland Derby, and it is the Brisbane Broncos versus the North Queensland Cowboys. And this is at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Both these teams coming off victories. Brisbane Broncos beating the Bulldogs 16 points to 10, and a very close one there. As for the North Queensland Cowboys, 26 points to 6 win over the Raiders. Jason Taumalolo was one-man wrecking machine. He just could not be stopped. He had an outstanding game. And in terms of outs in this game, only one notable out is for the Cowboys, and that is Mitchell Dunn. Now, I would not be surprised if this game goes down to the wire, actually. I really would not be. Brisbane, no doubt, will be favourites in this game, but I can't write off the Cowboys in this one. I know they, had a very complete performance last week. It's probably the best performance they've had in a while, the Cowboys. So, look, I give them a massive chance in this game, and it is a Queensland derby. Form goes out the window, and look, I think in terms of this game, I will back the Brisbane Broncos in here. In terms of an anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Herbie Farmworth, Corey Oates, and Selwyn Cobbo. And for the Cowboys, I'm going to go with Tom Dearden, Hamiso Tebo Fidel, and Jeremiah Nunine to score. And I'm going to go with Brisbane Broncos by just 1 point. And you know what? Adam Reynolds to kick the match-winning field goal with 2 minutes remaining in the second half. I think Adam Reynolds to make a big difference with his kicking game, and he will just edge Brisbane over the line in a classic Queensland derby. Now on to the last game to round off round 3. It says Manly Seagulls versus Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at 4 Pines Park in Sydney. Manly Seagulls starting off the season with an 0-2 start, so it's a familiar start for the Manly Seagulls like last year. Actually, they had a very slow start to the season. They came on good at the back end of the year, made the top 4, but I'm being a bit concerned by Manly at the moment. I know it's only 2 rounds in, but if you look at, their star players, they've been kept very quiet, the likes of Tommy Trbojevic, Ruben Garrick and Jason Sabb, and, although not their entire fault, actually, in my personal opinion, I think their 4-pack hasn't given them a platform to work with, and, you look at this game, you look at Manly's lineup, and you got to say that Manly really should be winning this game over the Bulldogs. Bulldogs do have a little bit of a better team than they did last year, but in saying that, Manly really should get the result, and I am going to tip Manly to win here by 14 points. And look, if Manly don't win this game, there's going to be massive concerns, and no doubt I'm sure Pro Enzo Vids will be pissed off if they don't get this victory. So, yeah, look, I'm going to go for an anytime try scorers now, and I'm going to go with Tommy Turbo to score. I know he's had a quiet start to the season so far, but I'm expecting him to finally cross over and score a try in this one. Now, Morgan Harbour to score as well, and Jason Sabb, and also I'll go with Josh Adokar. So, Manly to win by 14 points. But that wraps up my round 3 NRL tips. Let me know your tips and who you're picking for the games this week down in the comments section below. And yeah, look, don't forget as well, if you're watching all these videos and you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below, because it's much appreciated. It helps out the channel as well. And yeah, look, getting very close to that 1K subscriber mark, so I'd appreciate it, guys, if you do subscribe to the channel. And yeah, it's free, it doesn't cost a thing as well. Also, don't forget to click the bell on the video so you don't miss a notification when I go live on the YouTube channel next, or when I upload a new video. And also don't forget to click the thumbs up, click the like button on the video as well. And thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.